Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for another episode of Digital Soul Presents. I'm very honored to have one of my friends here, a musician, singer, songwriter, producer, entrepreneur, friend of mine. I'm glad to have him on today because we're going to get into some real good discussion about what he's doing, where he's been, what's going on in his life. We want to welcome Parrice in the building today. Thank you very much.
No doubt, man. What's up? Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Thank you for stopping through, man. First off, man, I just want to thank you for stopping through, and then also, man, what's been happening, man? I've been seeing you. You've been on the move. Like, what's going on lately, man? What you've been up to?
Well, I've just been trying to keep myself busy. In the studio, staying creative. I'm working on my album. You know, I've been in the lab with a bunch of heavy hitters lately. You know what I mean? People that inspire me, and hopefully vice versa. And I've been doing a bunch of cross promotions, coming together with different brands like David Ford Eyewear, Plainclothes Millionaires. You know what I mean? Different brands that we've been cross promoting, and I feel like iron sharpens iron. So I'm like, let's come together and go make some noise. And so when it feels good, it works. I don't fight it. I go with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you got the gear on now, so people can actually physically see, see what it looks like, what you're rocking there. So that's dope, man. I appreciate it.
Yes,
absolutely. So let's start back a little bit, man. I know you actually come from a place that is not too far. Well, it's within the capital of funk, man. A lot of legends come from that area. We talking Lakeside, Roger, Ohio Players, groups like that. But you're not from that city, but very, very close. If you don't mind, just go ahead and talk about the city where you're from, man.
Well, I was born and raised in a small city in Ohio called Lima. It's an hour and 10 minutes, hour 15 minutes from Dayton. I started my first professional recordings in Dayton, Ohio. With Tyrese Jones and Delbert Jones and, all them guys down there. And then, through grace of God, through all the work we did, I ended up getting a deal with Boyz II Men as a teenager. And we brought Tyrese Jones along, and that's where it all took off, man. And from there, I was here, there, and everywhere, man. But it all started in Lima, Ohio, man, singing in church with my family. There in Lima, my mother sang, my father sang. Actually, both sides of our family, just true bona fide church people and singers.
Yeah. Has there been any other entertainers, actors that have even come out of Lima?
It's crazy. I learned after my grandmother passed, God bless her soul, I learned that Phyllis Diller is from Lima, Ohio.
Wow. That's legendary.
That was one of my grandmother's closest friends.
Oh, wow.
I did not know.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So basically, growing up in Lima and then going around the Dayton area, of course, you said you got with a bunch of guys. You guys started singing, and from there, kind of got discovered, and then hooked up with Boyz II Men. Correct?
Yeah, we actually went down to the Cincinnati Jazz Festival, and we got a late start, got stuck in traffic. First light we came to down, and we went specifically to meet up with Boyz II Men. And first light we came to downtown Cincinnati in the heart of the Jazz Festival. Nate from Boyz II Men and his bodyguard and his son walked right across the street, right in front of us.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow. So even before that, little Parrice, like, when did you realize, okay, I want to sing? When did you finally start to, like, at what age or how young were you?
So my mother told me when I was little, I was really inspired by a lot of different music. She said I used to like, whoa, whoa, you got the best of my. Said there's these commercials that would come on TV, and I come running with my bottle in my hand and my diaper, and I'm and And from there, you know, I could sing. I grew up into the choir and was singing. And once I came to a certain age, I was drawn to sports. I started playing basketball and stuff. So I kind of got away from music for a minute. And by the time I could always sing. I kept it to myself kind of.
Yeah.
But when I turned 13 years old, my dad had moved back from Florida to Ohio, and I was staying at his house. It's funny. I was in the shower and I was singing, and my dad yelled through the door. It was like, "Who's that in my bathroom singing?" Like, it was me, Dad. He was like, "Boy, you can sing like that." I guess so, yeah. So from that day forward, he started putting me on the spot in front of everybody to get thing for everybody at the cookouts and fish fries, and you know how they do it. And from there, I was like, maybe I should do this, you know. And I caught the bug.
Yeah.
And I connected with some of my cousins. We formed a little group. We started performing, going to, you know, Cleveland and Detroit, Cincinnati, Indianapolis Black Expos and things like that.
Okay.
And I think it got to a point to where we all started having different opinions of what we wanted to do. And me and my cousin William, we ended up, you know, he was like, we need to just focus on us doing something, because the other guys, they're a little older than us. Let's focus on what we're doing.
Yeah.
And another guy, friend of ours, I won't mention his name. He was working in the airport in Columbus, Ohio, and he used to see a lot of people come in and out. He's like, he was changing numbers with them, so they were like, "Yo, if you get something, bring it to New York. Come to New York." And
Yeah.
we started trips to New York, blank trips, just to see what we can make happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would knock on the doors, and this particular weekend, we went to New York. We sang for Diddy's people up at Bad Boy, but Diddy had left, went to Daytona Beach for that summer thing they used to do with the models and stuff. You remember that? And it was like, well, can you guys stay longer? It's like, nah, we're gonna leave. We didn't have money to stay there longer, so we left. And like 2 weekends later, it's actually 1 weekend later, we went to the Cincinnati Jazz, and that's where we met Boyz II Men. We sang for them, and the rest was history. We didn't have to deal with anything else no more. So that was pretty much the beginning of how the career started, like really unfolding on a professional level, being around the elite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're talking like 16, 17 years old, somewhere around there?
I was 16.
16. So you guys go on a mission, go there on a mission to meet Boyz II Men. Like, you already got it in your head. So we going travel.
Yeah. Backstage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get back there. I mean, what was it like? What I mean, what was it? What did that feel like? Okay, we finally got to him. You know.
So what's crazy was we started feeling like we was getting the runarounds. When we ran into Nate, the first stoplight downtown, we jump out the car, and the dude, our boy, we're not gonna say his name, he went ahead and parked. He said, "Jump out and get his attention. I'm going to park." So he,
oh my God.
we're looking for him because there's cars everywhere, people trying to find parking. So he came back. He's like, "Where'd he go?" I said, "He went down here and made a left somewhere." I said, "He's right there." It was like in a hidden place. We couldn't see him, but he was in a phone booth. And his bodyguard was standing there, and we walked up, and the homie was like, "You know, it's my boys, man. They wanted to sing for you guys. We heard about the label you guys started. We want to check you out." He was like, "Man, go ahead and sing." And then he was like, "Man, I don't want them to sing here, because if they start singing, it's going to draw a crowd. People are going to see you. It's going to go crazy."
Yeah.
He's like, "We down here at the hotel right there, the Omni Hotel. We on the such and such floor. Come down there and meet us there in 30 minutes. Like, cool. We get there. We knock on the door. He told us the room number. We knocked on the door. And from the window light, we can see the shadow under the door. And he took off. Whoever it was didn't open the door. So we went back downstairs, and we ran into his manager, bodyguard.
Wow.
Mr. Anderson, who was also Mike Tyson's bodyguard at the time. Okay. He was like, "Guys, ass, like, you told us to meet you at on the lobby floor." He said, "LL, not lobby." I said, "You said the lobby floor. You didn't say lobby level. You said lobby floor." So he yells at us. We come downstairs. He said, "Look, you see that van right there? It's getting ready to go 3 blocks to the arena. Run over to the arena right now and wait for us at the back entrance, and I'll pull you guys in." So at this point, it's starting to come across like, you know, we get the runarounds or whatever. So when we got over there, they had the buses staggered like this. You got to walk around the buses like this. So when we finally get past the 8 buses that were there, they were just going through the gate and they closed the gate. Mm-hmm. So finally we standing by the fence and he comes up back. He's like, I was like, man, we were waiting for you. He said, look, man, take these tickets. He gave us front row tickets. He said, do you know the song they sing called You Know? I was like, yeah, you know that all you need is. I was like, yeah. He said, when you guys hear them start singing that song, that's the last song before they do Motown Philly. And they don't even do a clip of Motown Philly. Then we're heading back to the hotel. So when you hear them and you know, run back to the hotel. Catch us coming in. They pulled up. They came in. Nate seen us and recognized us from earlier. Mm-hmm. I can't just stand down here. Just let me go change. I got to change and I'll come back down. Let me get myself together. So moral of the story is we went 2 hours, 2.5 hour drive, got lost in traffic, waited an additional 10.5 hours for just 5 minutes of their time. Get out of there without hearing us sing. So finally, a friend of Nate's came downstairs. She was like, you guys the ones down here waiting on Nate and them? We was like, yeah. She's like, can y'all sing? And we was like, yeah, we can sing. She's like, sing folks for me then. And she crossed her arms. And I looked at my dude. He's like, well, sing. And we started singing. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I'll be right back. And she jumped on the elevator. She went back up. And like 15 minutes later, they start bringing out the cases with the big silver and black cases, Boyz II Men on them. I said, they must be about to come down. Now, mind you, we haven't eaten, we ain't done nothing. We're falling asleep.
Yeah, just tired. Yeah.
And she comes downstairs. We hear him giggling. Nate comes around the corner and sees us, and he took his glasses off. He's like, fella, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He said, man, I couldn't just come downstairs. We got rules. We couldn't just hang down here. And that's when we said, man, we drove 2.5 hours, waiting an additional 10.5 hours for just 5 minutes of your time. He was like, you got my time now. So he leaned on the wall, dropped his head. He said, sing. So we start singing. His head came up. Then we start harmonizing. He took his glasses off. He's looking at us. We got done. He was like, I ain't one to, blow shit up nobody's butts or nothing like that, but you motherfuckers is bad.
And what song did you sing?
We sang a song by a group called Riff. Remember Riff?
I remember Riff, yeah.
Lean on Me.
Okay.
So we song they had called You Don't Have to Leave. That we had maybe like a month earlier. We seen them on Donnie Simpson singing that on video LP. And we learned it. And shoot, Nate stood there. By then Wanye's coming off the elevator like, Nate, what was that? I just heard somebody singing. And he was like, yo, these two motherfuckers is bad, man. He closed the doors off again. And he made us sing the whole song again. We had got warmed up at that point, so it's been better the second time. And I looked up to Wanye. I'm sure my cousin did too. Was like, we got to really kill it this time. And Wanye was like, oh man, y'all don't know what y'all just did, bro. Look at my arms. I'm getting chills, bro. Y'all bad. So he gave us all their contacts. They told us to call. That Tuesday, we were supposed to call them. We called the label. The lady hadn't heard from Nate yet to know who we were. So she gave us the runarounds, but finally we sent a text out. Everybody had the Sky Pagers.
Yeah.
A text to Nate, and Nate finally said, let me call her. So they ended up bringing us out there for the first annual Stone Creek Christmas party. They took care of us, sent us money for our rent, all that kind of stuff to make sure we get ready because they were definitely signing us. Then they moved us to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Recorded a whole album, and the only person that got a chance to come out before that whole situation went left was Uncle Sam. He had the big song, I Don't Ever Want to See You Again.
Yeah.
He came out, and then Epic ended up picking him up directly. And when everything went left with the label, we went back to Ohio and figured it out. Then our group kind of broke up, and I just started figuring it out. I was like, I got to do this. And I started flying back and forth to New York in the studio, singing hooks for writers, for rappers or whatever, and just keeping myself in the loop. And then after, I'm going to get too deep into it, I connected with Teddy Riley and all of them guys. And while living in Columbus, I went ahead and moved to Virginia Beach. I was out there with Teddy and Blackstreet and all of them for a while. And then 9/11 happened. You know, I joined a little group out there. We got a deal. When 9/11 happened, we got dropped because they said they couldn't do nothing. They said the economy was all messed up, the money and everything was bad. So LA. I stayed in LA for 21 and a half years, just performing around the city, you know, writing for this person, vocal producing this and doing that. And after a while of being there, you know, you meet, so you know how it goes in LA, you meet everybody. You could be in the grocery store and you're running to somebody, like, oh, such. And I got really cool with a homie by the name of Black Rose. He's from Youngstown. When Gerald Levert died, he jumped in the group with Levert, and Sean Levert, Black Rose, and Mark Gordon became Levert too. A year or so later, Sean Levert dies. So Mark and Black Rose was left as Levert too without an original Levert, you know, except for Mark, who everybody thought he was their cousin, but he was just really close to them because, and so Black Rose told them about me. So I went and joined the group and was performing with them for a little while, did a few shows and stuff, recorded a few records. And it just wasn't working out because I feel like, and it's no diss to Mark, love Mark to death. You know, I'm still to this day grateful that he even considered to have me be in that position in such a group. But Mark was still, he was still mourning.
Yeah.
You know, you losing both of your brothers that fast back to back, and you guys built amazing legacy. You know what I mean? But it worked because I'm Ohio and I'm from, you know, from Ohio. Black Rose from Ohio, they're from Ohio, so it worked. But it just wasn't moving fast enough.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I'm very patient, but it's like it's one thing to be patient, but it's another thing to be a go-getter.
Yeah.
You know, and my heart went out to Mark because Mark wasn't. He didn't have that same drive that he may have had.
It was too soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hitting him really hard. So I had to stay away from that.
Yeah.
So actually, crazy as it sounds, the day I sent them the letter and told them I wanted to step away from it, Kenny, the bass singer from Azette, was like, "Good, you can join our group." So I'm like, what? I felt like it was in an episode of freaking The Temptations or something. You know how people jump group to group? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eddie Kendricks. So it ended up being a good situation. I learned a lot being in their group, how they did their harmonies and this, that, and third. I was tapped into it from being around the whole Boyz II Men vibe. But learning 5-part harmonies and things like that was cool for the camaraderie and everything. But even with that, it was like I wouldn't say it was like a conflict constantly, but in my mind, I might see it one way. In their mind, they're used to doing things the way they did it.
Yeah.
It's not a diss, it's just difference in opinion. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, I just chose I need to do this by myself because I can't keep doing this. And it's like we're clashing, trying to get across the same finish line, but we're clashing on what vehicle we're going to take across the finish line. So I just started focusing on me, you know what I mean? And it's landed me in a great position that I'm in right now. So I'm thankful. That was in a nutshell without having to like really dig too deep into personal things that happen. I would never throw nobody under the bus or nothing like that. It's nothing bad. It's just, I feel like life has taken me on a journey that's brought me to where I'm at right now to do what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's absolutely the way you have to look at it, man, because you never, nobody really designs their path. A person might choose their occupation or, you know, their career, but the path that leads you there, you don't know what's going to happen, what kind of obstacles or what kind of success or whatever failures or whatever's going to happen. You don't know until you take that leap of faith and God kind of just takes you on that journey, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So what's going on now? You know, like I said earlier, I'm working on a new album. I have a situation that's on the table right now. I want to speak too much on it. I don't want to, not that I'm into jinxing. My power and help comes from God, but at the same time, I don't want to speak too much on it too premature. But I can tell you this though. I've been in the studio. I've done 2 songs with Neo. He wrote 2 songs for my project. I've been working with Sauce from Something for the People, who's actually the guy who took Neo and got him signed.
Yeah.
You know, produced a lot of the who's who. You know, if you came to LA and you had a deal and you was a singer, chances are this dude was in the studio with you, vocal producing you. You know, so I've been in the studio working with them, and I ended up getting signed. The manager that was managing Boyz II Men, Quadri Elamine, he was managing Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. He's my manager now.
Yeah.
So I was able to get a A-list manager to, like, that's a blessing, because when you're trying to go do something big, you need the best. You know what I mean? You want the best to represent you, and he's stellar. So I'm thankful for that. And what I'm doing right now, before this whole deal is done, I'm gonna do a remake album, 5 songs, and it's pretty much done. I can tell you what it is because it's gonna be dope. I'm remaking Jermaine Jackson's "Do What You Do."
Okay.
Roger Troutman's "I Want to Be Your Man," featuring
Okay.
Brian. He was down with Roger and them. He's gonna do the talk box and all that.
Okay.
What's the other song? Crazy as it sounds, I called my music director and told him to do this music for this record, to do "What You Won't Do" by Bobby Caldwell. 2 days later, this man passes away. Broke my heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And there's one more song. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. "Do What You Do," Bobby Caldwell. Oh, and Donny Hathaway's "For All We Know."
Classic.
And yes. And I'm waiting right now for a music director to tell me what he thinks the 5th record should be.
Okay. So none of the songs are recorded yet. That's just what you.
I'm about to start recording them tomorrow morning.
Gotcha. Okay. So
they're all done except the one. We're just trying to decide on the last song.
Final song. Wow. That's gonna be dope, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are some of because you mentioned Donny Hathaway, man. Who are some, besides the obvious, of course, who are some of the artists that you listen to, or like, so say we get in your car right now, like who are you rocking out to, or who do you like to listen to a lot?
You mean new or old school?
Either or, across the board.
You know who I really like? I'm gonna take you from current to older.
Okay.
Who I really rock now, and I feel like he's really carrying the torch and keeping all eyes on R&B music. Tank. That brother is amazing producer, singer, songwriter. He's a great visionary.
Yeah.
Super dope. And I feel like he's carrying the torch and making sure people don't forget about R&B. He's got the Money podcast now, which definitely needed. I listen to Tank. I freaking love Kim Burrell.
Okay.
That's from the gospel side. Of course, Stevie Wonder. I love it. And my favorite is Donny.
Yeah.
Donny Hathaway is my favorite, period. Anything that man has ever done, it just feels good. You know what I mean? It's a good fit. And then, I would be here all day telling you all the people, but growing up in Ohio, that Midwest funk thing with Shirley Murdoch and, Holly Wilson's, the Roger Troutman, and that's my vibe. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. That's what's inspired me growing up.
I know that. I know.
Singing in.
I know this is a hard one, man. But if you had to pick 3 top Donny songs, what are your top 3 favorite Donny songs?
"For All We Know," "A Song for You," and the song he did. What's it? "Take It From Me, One Day We'll
All Be Free. Yeah.
That's right there.
That's
Those
an
are my
amazing song. Yeah. Those are great songs, man.
And I'm torn though, you know, because my one of my other favorite ones is More Than You'll Ever Know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's deep.
Yeah.
Deep. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
one of my personal favorites from him, man. A lot of people don't talk about it. Love, Love, Love is one of my favorites too.
Love, love,
Yeah,
love. Yeah.
yeah, I love that one, man.
Yeah. Donnie's
Yeah,
the truth.
yeah, he's definitely he can't be duplicated or man, he's one of those rare geniuses that just came and was gone way too soon, man. I wish we could have got more out of him. You know,
Yeah, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I love his daughter too. His daughter is really carrying his torch really good.
yes, yes, yes. No,
Love her.
yeah, she's on some next level stuff, man.
Yeah, harmonizing with herself on one note.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That girl is off the charts, man. Talk a little bit about I did a little homework on you, man. I found you were involved with another group for a quick minute, and I happen to know this brother, man. Talk a little bit about your brief involvement with Treasure.
I was never with them.
Okay.
All I did, I met Treasure in uh in Vegas, being that he's from Ohio.
Okay.
People were telling me Treasure's from, you know, from Dayton, Ohio. And crazy thing is his birthday is the same day as my mother's. And we met, started hanging out, and then he's like, "Hey man, you should come through here and jam with me tonight." So
Mhm.
I was living in LA and I would come to Vegas, hang out with him,
Okay.
at their house, we go on stage, perform with him and jam. It was just a fun time just to jump on stage with him
Yeah.
and do some tunes and cover tunes or whatever, have fun with him. It was dope.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips on YouTube. I was like, oh man, I gotta ask him about this, man.
Yeah, that was, man, Treasure, dope.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, that brother puts it in, man. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's dope.
definitely. And then and being in Vegas, man, I know that being there's a lot of talent that runs through there. Have you come across anybody there in that city that you've seen or you know at one point and they've ended up, you know, having a big career out of Vegas by any chance?
Anybody that I've seen, most of the people that I've connected with in Vegas were people that were just doing like top 40 or cover shows around the
Okay.
city. And then other people like some of the Cool in the Gang members, you know,
Yeah.
Skip Martin from the Dazz Band, who I'm really close to, like
Okay.
a big to me, love Skip to death. Um, those guys are like world renowned. They travel all over the world. They live in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, you know, me and Skip actually came together and we put together a remake of People Get Ready with all those people. I'll send it to you. It came out really, really good,
Oh
man.
man,
Taylor,
awesome.
Taylor Dame, Tony Terry, freaking CeCe Peniston,
Wow,
Darkest, um, Robert Cool Bell on bass. Even
man.
Adette was on there. It was so many people. Tony Terry
Yeah, legends.
and
Yeah,
E thing is bad. Came
yeah.
out good. So to continue with that, most of those people are either doing top 40s or still performing just regular cover tunes, and the
Okay.
rest still doing what they do with their bands, and they just come home to Vegas. They're already, you know, was already doing the thing. Vegas is just home to them.
Right, right. And you also, you not only do you sing, songwrite, and produce, man, but you're also an entrepreneur. And word on the street is you have a wine.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that for a minute, man.
So crazy as it sounds, I was with as yet we was at the NAM show right before the year before the pandemic jumped off.
Okay.
I said, that's Bootsy Collins over there. We ran up on Bootsy Collins, and he's like, "What's up, soul brother? I remember you." You know how Bootsy is. And, oh man, and I told him I was with As yet. I was like, "What you got going on? I know you headlined last year. What you doing?" He said, "I got a big show at the Clarion tonight." So his wife, Patty walks up. She said, "So y'all," I felt like the Five Heartbeats. She's like, "Y'all group will sing." So we start singing, and they had us all in a circle. Before you know it, there's 500 people standing around us, and we're singing. And Bootsy standing right there with us. He said, man, I want y'all to perform at my show tonight at the Clarion. So we went there. Must speed past it. So people going up on stage performing. There's a booth set up in the back. You know, Bootsy has his own wine, right? So I'm in the back while everybody's talking to everybody. I'm in the back talking to the guy who makes the wine. I've always been intrigued by this wine and stuff. And you make it? He said, yeah, I do. He said, this wine is like, it's not bitter, it's not dry, it's not super sweet, it's perfect. So I tried it. I'm like, this is good. So he's like, take my number. He said, what's your name? I said, Parrice. He said, that sounds like a good name for a wine. I was like, yeah, definitely down to do something like that. He said, you are. Let's put something together. He thought I was playing. I was so sincere when I told him I wanted to do it.
Okay.
I was serious that I went and had a label made. I went and designed a label, a Parrice label, you know, and made sure it had my influence with music notes and stuff on it, so people know it's somebody that's involved in music. We had the whole pandemic thing jumped off, and then like 2 weeks after they had opened back up, I reached out and I said, Jason, what's going on? He's like, man, Parrice, I was going to call you next week, but you're calling me. I said, what are you doing? Are you guys open again? He's like, we've been open back for 2 weeks. He's like, you got your label? So I did some final finishing touches to it, sent the label over. He sent me some mock-up bottles. He sent me some bottles to try the wines that I like. I let my family help me choose which ones we liked the best. So we chose a Chardonnay, Cabernet, and Sauvignon Blanc.
Wow.
And signed the colors, and I said, I like these colors, but I want the labels to be more metallic. So if you're walking down the aisle in the grocery store and you look down the wine aisle, it'll stick out. And you'll see it because it's metallic, it's shining. And like, that's brilliant. I like the idea. So he sent me these wines out, and to this day, like why I went to Orlando was to meet with some people about getting the wine into their restaurant chain.
Okay.
You know, and so we're working out the whole distribution situation for the wine right now.
Man, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's making moves, man.
Yeah, man. Trying to put some paint where it ain't out here, man.
Yeah.
Don't expect of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, stepping outside the box, man. That definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But once we get the wine going, next we're probably going to go into tequila, and have a connect to do vodka and cognac now too. So I'm going to take my time and step by step get them going. And you know, the company is called Parrice Wines and Spirits.
Okay. Call me up when you want to do the cognac testing. I'll do that.
Absolutely. Y'all make sure. Because we'll probably get a type of like launching thing here in LA, like wine, with not even with the wine and everything. We're gonna have music and get to the table. This show is sponsored in part by Parrice Wines and Spirits, and whatever the name of the brand that we're using, if it's the tequila, whatever, we'll have that. Well, step and repeat, live performances hosted by somebody important. You know, we're gonna make that thing right, man. It's gonna be dope.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Can you talk a little bit about your involvement with Ink Cartel Music Group?
Yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Ink Cartel Music Group. It started as Ink Cartel was a writing company that I started. Was my publishing company at first for writing.
Okay.
And when I decided that I'm gonna take my life into my own hands and start doing my music and releasing it independently, I said, incorporate, and I can start doing my own thing and build this brand. You know what I mean? I feel like your brand ain't nothing unless you build the stock. Nobody wants to buy into you unless there's a stock that they are attracted to. So take all of this intellectual property of everything that I'm doing and put it through this brand right here and build it.
Yeah.
Bible says if you build it, they will come. So I said, let me build this thing up from it being just a writing publishing company to a production company and label.
Right.
You know? And I'm also going to have Ink Cartel Studios as well.
Right. What are your goals as far as like the types of projects that you want to be involved in? Like what type of music projects or film projects or any of that nature?
I don't want to really put a label on exactly I want to look for. If it feels good, it's organic, and it makes sense for whatever we're doing at the particular time, and it makes sense, let's go with it. I
Right,
don't
right.
want those people like I'm not doing this, but there's some things I just ain't gonna mess with.
Yeah,
I don't. You know, you know what's good for you and what's not.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, if you know what type of audience you're trying to attract or trying to reach, so certain age range. So yeah, you definitely always keep that in mind anyway when you're working on your art as well.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaking of which, I know you said right now you're currently working on your own project. Do you have what do you call, like a concept? Majority. I know you mentioned the redo
Well,
album, but
that's different. That's just 5 songs. I'm
right,
about
that's
to.
a separate thing. But right,
Yeah.
that's a separate thing. But your project, do you have a concept or something that you're kind of leaning towards as far as putting together for this one?
Yeah, the concept for that project is basically, I've been listening to radio.
Mm,
I just took like 2 weeks, about maybe 5, 6 months ago. I took like 2 weeks and I was just studying radio and urban music on the radio. It seems like to me, every concept that I was hearing was not about a brother uplifting his woman. Every concept was about I want to F you or be this. These H's ain't loyal or this, that.
yeah,
It was throwing them under the bus. Not a bad thing. It was entertaining, dope songs and all that. But conceptually, what I want to do is put some romance back in the music.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I want to pay tribute to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? I want to glorify the black women for the natural curves they have. I want to talk about that. I
yeah,
have a song called Thick Body. It talks about how beautiful a black woman is from the South, curvy. You know what I'm saying? You can see it that she packing that even when you see her walking towards you from the front, you know what's going on in the back. You
right,
big and up. And it's something that I feel like um, we're in a time now, especially out here on the West Coast, people are so health conscious, which is a good thing. But I hear a lot of women that look amazing. They're curvy, amazing. They think they're fat.
mm,
No, you're not. No, you're not. And then they go lose too much weight and they lose everything that made them attractive to men.
right.
And I feel like that needs to be glorified. Their egos need to be boosted a little bit.
Yeah, telling you fat in all the right places.
Yeah, around, around everywhere you around. And I just feel like from an R&B standpoint, men should sing to the ladies. From an R&B standpoint, women should sing to the men. It's like it's no diss to nobody's art. I don't ever want nobody to think that, but I just feel like people are being more edgy and being pushing you away with what they feel about you opposed to pulling you in.
You think it's more of a trend that's
I
happening?
think it's a
Yeah,
trend.
yeah,
And sometimes you get so caught up in these trends, you can't come back.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? And but to some people, it's just music. But to me, I feel like it's deeper than that. Because if you sit around all day and you listen to violent music and violent stuff on the radio, it feeds into your self-conscious and you catch yourself snapping on people when
mm-hmm,
your body is like a sponge.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? And whatever you ingest, it has to come out one way or another.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how I feel. I feel like I have to put some more love in the world, but
yeah,
do it in a where people can relate to it. I don't want to be the corny dude, sound like an old dude trying to catch the ear of young people, but I want to give them the beat they like,
mm-hmm,
but that they can accept.
yeah. That's definitely something that's missing, man, in today's music. I just want to point out what you said, as far as I know it was not uh, a test that you probably sought out to do, but you just said you listened to the radio for 2 weeks straight, and that was the result that you got. So I wanted to point that out to my viewers. Like, if you think about that, that's pretty deep. If you just listen to the radio 2 weeks straight, and that was the only answer that you got out of music on the radio today. So which came to the conclusion for you, like, I need to change that, and
I
that's,
need part in changing it. Yeah.
yeah, we need to change that, and we don't have a lot of artists doing it. I mean, we lost our Donnie, we lost our Marvin, we lost our Michael, we lost a lot of our people that were actually putting love and and brotherhood in music. Curtis Mayfield,
Exactly.
all of those greats, man. They're no longer here. Exactly. So these guys are no longer here. So with them being gone, there's no other new artists or even artists under them that are not even really doing that anymore. I mean, unless we're reaching out to, we still have our Howard Hewitts or Jeffrey Osborne's, which is great, but there's not really nobody in between that, that's really giving us that full quality, music that we need today.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what's missing, and don't get me wrong, some of the stuff, it's cool to have the trendy stuff because it's fun, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, I want to hear somebody really pour out their heart to their woman on a song, because those are the songs that stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And like, if you're in that moment with your woman and you want to romance her, make love to her or whatever, the music that you have to choose from today does not fit that mold 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to dig back into the 90s, the 80s, 70s in order to set the mood.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why we need you to put out that music, man.
Oh yeah, we're about to definitely do that.
Yeah.
And that's those the songs that I chose for even the remake album. I'm gonna throw that out there just so, because I'm gonna pay homage to the people who came, some people that I've loved that came before me. You know what I mean? But those are the songs that I want to be able to perform in addition to the songs that I've written live with my band.
Yeah.
And it won't be like I'm singing somebody else's song. No, I actually re-recorded these and put these out. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to perform those live.
Yeah. Which do you like better, performing live or doing studio work?
I think they both have their purpose. In the studio, I can be as creative as I want and get it to where I want. But when you perform live, I'm gonna say live, because the response that you get back live is not the response you get in the studio. It's a rush live, because when you hit that first note and you hear them ladies scream at you and rush on earth, you don't get that in the studio.
Yeah.
It's you, the engineer, and the
yeah, and I'm assuming the spontaneity too in concert and live, live concert too is also a thrill too, because you never know what's going to happen,
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely agree with that, man.
Yeah.
So any plans of doing any shows in the near future so we can start seeing more of your music and everything?
Well, we're working on a few things that hopefully come through right after we get this deal finalized. But I know I'm gonna be I'm gonna be overseas into April. I'm going to Brazil in April. I know about, and I think I have to go to Africa in November, and also back to Brazil in December.
Okay.
So as of now, those are the ones that I know about so far. Other than once this deal is done, I know there's going to be some tour dates that come with the deal.
Cool.
So I'm waiting to get the music out there, get the deal solidified, so I know what's what. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're all waiting patiently, man. We're looking forward to it, and we're wishing you the best, and I just hope that we can give some more music out of you for 2023, man, so we can get the grooving and get some of that love back, man.
Oh, we're definitely about to put some music out. That's definitely. I'm not having it. 2023 is not leaving me without me putting out these records.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Still don't get done fast as I think it should, those records are going to start coming out too, because I can always go back in and do more.
For sure, definitely. All right, Parrice, man, before I let you go, man, is there anybody that you want to shout out before we take off?
First of all, man, I want to shout out God. Thank you for having me and you connect. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I felt a blessing to meet you. You're a very good, cool brother.
Thank you.
Shout out to Corey Taylor, Gio Blaine, Rosa, Rashawn Rosa, Quadri Elamine, my manager, Southpaw Entertainment, and the rest of the In Cartel Music Group family, man. And if I can leave you guys with a quote that I like to use, you know, I feel like everyone needs to know don't settle for just okay. You don't need no one's permission to be great.
That's it. That's it. That's deep, man. Think on that one now.
Sure.
Yeah, no doubt. On that note, before we depart, man, if you don't mind just sharing with the viewers where they can find you, if you have an Instagram handle, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you would like them to find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram under I am Parrice. That's IAMPARRICE. And you can follow me under Parrice Smith on Facebook.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, look out for this brother. He's a bad mofo. He got skills. He got skills. I'm quiet as kept. I did some work with him, and the stuff the stuff I got back from him, it was quick and it was awesome. I mean, this brother, he has a beautiful voice. So I'm glad to be a part of the creation process with him as well. So I'm very, very thankful, as he mentioned earlier, to be part of his life now. And I'm proud to call him my brother as well. So thank you so much for being here and taking time out to share your story, what you've been doing, your experiences, and where you're going, so we can keep up with you in the future with your projects and everything. So, man, bless you, and thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you. Salute, brother.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Digital Soul Presents. In the meantime, stay cool and see you in the next go-round. All right, cool, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dope.